The first lesson we must learn is that our worth cannot and must not be measured by the attention of another. When someone ignores us, it is easy to feel small, overlooked, or forgotten. But ask yourself, is your existence truly defined by how often another person looks at you, or how often they speak your name? The truth is, no amount of external validation can give you lasting peace. The value of your being is not something that can be handed to you, nor can it be taken away. It is like the mountain that stands tall regardless of whether anyone admires it. To detach your worth from others' recognition is to realize that you are already whole. You do not need applause to breathe. You do not need attention to walk your path. Think of the river. It flows quietly, sometimes unnoticed, sometimes admired. But does the river stop flowing when no one is watching? Does it change its course simply because no one is clapping for it? No. The river exists in its fullness, whether it is seen or unseen. In the same way, your life must not become dependent on being observed, praised, or desired. Many fall into the trap of constantly seeking approval, like a thirsty traveler hoping for drops of water that never quench the thirst. But the deeper truth is this: external validation is temporary. It comes and goes like the wind. If you build your worth upon it, you will always feel unstable. But if you anchor your worth within yourself, no storm can shake you. To detach from external validation requires discipline of the mind. The mind is constantly searching outward, asking, what do they think of me? Do they still care for me? Why am I being ignored? These questions drain energy. They distract from the true work of self-realization. Instead of chasing answers from others, learn to turn these questions inward. Ask, what do I think of myself? Do I still care for who I am? Am I ignoring my own needs? When you shift the attention from outward validation to inward reflection, you reclaim your power. Others may ignore you, but you no longer ignore yourself. And this is where transformation begins, not in changing how others treat you, but in changing how you treat yourself. Imagine a tree standing alone in the forest. Whether a passerby stops to rest under its shade or walks past without notice, the tree does not bend its identity to gain approval. It stands rooted, drawing life from the soil, from the sun, from within. This is the way you must live. When someone ignores you, it may sting, but it is not a wound. It is only a reminder that you must root yourself deeper into self-worth. Do not let your branches shrink because someone refused to sit in your shade. Your existence is not dependent on their recognition. You are here for a greater reason, a higher purpose, and the nourishment of that purpose comes from within, not from fleeting attention. The greatest prison is the need to be constantly validated by others. It creates chains of fear, fear of rejection, fear of being overlooked, fear of not being enough. But remember this truth: no one can give you the permission to be valuable. That permission is already written into your existence. The sun does not wait for validation before it rises each morning. It does not ask, do you want me to shine today? It simply fulfills its nature. In the same way, your worth is not up for debate. It is inherent. You are not here to beg for attention, but to express your true self fully, with or without an audience. When you free yourself from the chains of external validation, you step into a life of true freedom. Now, understand that detachment is not arrogance. It does not mean you close your heart, nor does it mean you refuse to value relationships. Detachment simply means you no longer build your identity on the unstable foundation of another's approval. You can still love, you can still connect, but you do not lose yourself when attention shifts. In fact, true detachment allows deeper love because you are no longer needy, no longer desperate, no longer afraid. You are whole, and from that wholeness, you can give freely without demanding constant reassurance. When someone ignores you, instead of falling apart, you remain intact. And from that inner stability, you can respond with calmness rather than panic, with wisdom rather than fear. Consider this: when someone ignores you, It reveals more about them than about you. Perhaps they are distracted. Perhaps they are caught in their own struggles. Perhaps they lack the ability to appreciate you. None of this diminishes your worth. The mistake is to interpret their silence as a verdict on your value. But the verdict on your life has already been given by existence itself. You are worthy, you are enough, and you are needed in this world. The question is not whether others recognize it, but whether you recognize it. Detachment teaches you to stop borrowing mirrors from others to see yourself. Instead, you stand before your own reflection and accept who you are without condition. The path of discipline always returns to the inner self. To detach from external validation, you must train your mind like a warrior trains his body. Every time you catch yourself seeking approval, pause, breathe, remind yourself, my worth is not for sale, it is not negotiable. Create rituals that reinforce this truth. Spend time in silence. Write down the qualities you respect about yourself. Practice gratitude for your own journey. These practices build an inner fortress, a sanctuary that cannot be shaken by others' opinions. Slowly, the power of validation begins to lose its grip. You no longer need the applause, because you carry your own applause within you. Life will constantly test you. There will be moments when someone ignores you, when someone rejects you, when someone walks away. Each time you have a choice: do you collapse or do you stand firm? Detaching your worth from external validation does not happen overnight. It is a practice, a discipline, a daily decision. But each time you choose inner strength over outer approval, you grow stronger. Each time you refuse to panic when ignored, you cultivate resilience. Over time, you realize that being ignored was never a loss, but an opportunity. A chance to deepen your relationship with yourself, to return to your own center, and to walk your path with dignity. So remember this: your worth is not defined by who notices you, who speaks to you, or who chooses to ignore you. Your worth is defined by the simple fact that you exist. The breath within you, the beating of your heart, the potential of your mind, these are enough. Do not give away your power to those who cannot see your light. Detach from the need to be validated, and you will discover a freedom that no rejection can ever touch. Like the mountain, like the river, like the sun, you are complete, you are steady, and you shine whether anyone is watching or not. That is the essence of true worth. When someone ignores you, the natural impulse is to react emotionally. The heart feels wounded, the ego feels threatened, and the mind begins to spin endless stories. Why me? What did I do wrong? How can I make them notice me again? But emotional reactions rarely solve the problem. Instead, they deepen it. Emotions are like wild horses, powerful, but without control, they can trample your peace. Discipline is the reins that guide them. To respond with discipline means to create space between what happens to you and how you act. It means not giving away control to the situation or the person, but holding the center within yourself. When you master this, you discover that being ignored is not an insult to your worth. It is simply an event, and how you respond to it defines your strength. Emotions are not the enemy. They are natural, they are human, but they must be guided. Just as water can give life or flood a village, emotions can heal or destroy, depending on whether you direct them wisely. Discipline is not about suppressing feelings, it is about mastering the timing and manner in which you express them. When you are ignored, the disciplined response is to pause. Do not rush to confront, do not rush to complain, do not rush to prove yourself. Breathe. Let the initial fire settle. Then act from clarity, not from chaos. This pause is powerful. It separates those who are ruled by circumstances from those who rule their circumstances. To respond with discipline is to rise above impulsive reaction and to choose deliberate action. Consider the warrior. He does not swing his sword at every sound in the forest. He waits, he observes, he acts only when necessary, and when he does, his strike is precise. In the same way, when you feel ignored, Discipline asks you not to waste energy on every emotional trigger. If you chase every fleeting thought, you will exhaust yourself. But if you observe carefully and act with intention, your response carries weight. Discipline sharpens your energy. Instead of scattering it in anger or despair, you conserve it, and then you move with purpose. Others may expect you to react emotionally, but when you respond with calm discipline, you surprise them, and more importantly, you strengthen yourself. Emotional reaction is often about control. When someone ignores you, the hidden desire behind your reaction is to pull them back, to regain their attention. But discipline teaches you, you cannot control others, you can only control yourself. When you accept this truth, your energy shifts from outward desperation to inward mastery. You stop demanding that others act according to your expectations, and you start training your own mind to act according to your values. This is true freedom. If a person ignores you, let them. If a situation turns against you, let it. What matters is not the external event, but whether you remain disciplined enough to act in alignment with your inner principles. One of the greatest teachings of discipline is patience. Emotions want immediacy. They want answers now, validation now, change now. But discipline knows that time is a teacher. When you are ignored, instead of reacting with impatience, practice waiting. Let silence do its work. Sometimes, what feels like rejection is simply a test of your ability to remain grounded. Sometimes, what feels like loss is an opening for growth. By responding with discipline, you give space for clarity to emerge. In time, you will see whether the person deserves your energy, whether the relationship is worth nurturing, or whether it is wiser to walk away. Without discipline, impatience blinds you. With discipline, patience reveals truth. Discipline also transforms the quality of communication. When you respond emotionally, your words often carry blame, anger, or desperation, which push people further away. But when you respond with discipline, your words carry calmness, respect, and clarity. This does not mean you remain silent forever. It means you choose your words carefully. You speak when the time is right, and your tone reflects strength rather than weakness. Imagine speaking not from a place of panic, but from a place of inner stillness. Such words carry weight because they are not driven by fear, but by understanding. This kind of communication can rebuild bridges where emotional reactions only burn them. There is also a discipline of energy. Emotions, when left unchecked, scatter your energy outward. You spend hours overthinking, days worrying, weeks replaying scenarios in your head. This drains you. But with discipline, you redirect this energy inward. Instead of asking, why did they ignore me? You ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger through this silence? This shift is powerful. Energy once wasted on worry now becomes fuel for self-mastery. You train your body, your mind, your spirit. You focus on your purpose rather than the distraction of being ignored. In time, you realize that the energy you once gave away in emotional reaction now builds you into someone unshakable. Another key aspect of discipline is consistency. Anyone can remain calm once or twice, but true mastery comes when you practice discipline daily. Each time you feel ignored and choose not to panic, you strengthen the muscle of self-control. Over time, this discipline becomes your natural response, not just in relationships but in all areas of life. In work, in health, in challenges, you learn to act with clarity, not with chaos. Discipline becomes your shield, protecting you from being tossed around by the ups and downs of external circumstances. It is not about denying emotions, but about training them to serve your higher purpose. Consistency turns discipline from an effort into a way of being. Remember, responding with discipline is not about winning over the one who ignores you. It is not a strategy to manipulate others. It is a practice to master yourself. The real victory is not in making them pay attention. It is in proving to yourself that you can remain steady even when ignored. This is true strength, when your peace no longer depends on how others treat you. Many people react emotionally and lose themselves in the process. But those who respond with discipline gain a rare power. They walk into silence with calmness, into rejection with dignity, and into uncertainty with confidence. This is the power of self-mastery. So, when you are ignored, let this be your practice. Do not rush, do not panic, do not react. Breathe, observe, and then respond with discipline. Choose patience over impatience, clarity over chaos, dignity over desperation. Remember, emotions will come. They always do. But you are not their servant. You are their master. To respond with discipline is to walk the path of inner freedom. It is to prove that your worth, your peace, and your strength cannot be shaken by silence or neglect. Others may come and go, but your discipline remains. And in that discipline, you discover the unshakable foundation of your true self. Rejection is often seen as a wound, a mark of inadequacy, a sign that something is wrong with us. But this perception is incomplete. Rejection is not always punishment. Sometimes it is guidance. When someone ignores you or turns away, it is easy to feel abandoned. But instead of drowning in pain, what if you used rejection as a mirror? A mirror that shows you where your attachments are, where your fears hide, and where your growth is needed. Every rejection carries a message, but only for those willing to listen. Self-reflection is the key that turns rejection from an enemy into a teacher. The hurt you feel is not a dead end. It is an invitation to look within and discover parts of yourself that you may have ignored for far too long. Imagine a closed door. Most people, when they encounter rejection, keep knocking, keep pleading, keep exhausting themselves at the locked entrance. But what if that door was never meant for you? What if life was redirecting you to another path? Rejection has the power to reveal where you do not belong and, at the same time, where you must look deeper into yourself. Self-reflection means stepping back from the door and asking, why do I need this person's approval? Why does their absence hurt me so deeply? What belief about myself is being challenged right now? These questions are not easy, but they are essential. They reveal whether your worth is tied too tightly to external forces and whether you have neglected your inner foundation. Self-reflection begins with honesty. It requires courage to sit with your pain without blaming others, without escaping into distractions. When someone rejects you, the ego wants to say, they are wrong, they are ungrateful, they are cruel. But discipline asks you to look within. What can I learn here? What truth is being uncovered? Sometimes rejection shows us our own dependence on validation. Sometimes it reveals habits of overgiving, where we expect love in return for sacrifices. Other times, it uncovers the fear of being alone. Each of these lessons is valuable. By reflecting honestly, you begin to see the hidden patterns that shape your life. Instead of running from the discomfort of rejection, you use it as a torch to light up the unseen corners of your inner world. Consider the sculptor. Every strike of the hammer against the stone looks violent, like destruction. But each strike is carving, shaping, revealing the form hidden within. Rejection works the same way. At first, it feels like a blow, like something has been taken from you. But with reflection, you begin to see that each rejection is shaping you, chiseling away illusions, refining your strength. The question is not whether rejection will come. It always will, in relationships, in careers, in friendships. The real question is whether you will allow rejection to destroy you or to carve you into something stronger. With self-reflection, you stop seeing rejection as the end and start seeing it as part of the process of becoming who you are meant to be. One of the greatest lessons rejection can teach is detachment. When someone ignores you, the instinct is to hold tighter, to prove your worth, to fight against their silence. But rejection reveals the danger of attachment. When your happiness depends too heavily on another, their absence destabilizes you. Through reflection, you learn that your peace must come from within. Ask yourself, have I given too much power to this person over my emotions? Have I tied my identity to their acceptance? These realizations may sting, but they free you. Self-reflection turns rejection into liberation, teaching you to reclaim the energy you gave away and to return it to your own growth, your own purpose, your own path. Rejection also teaches alignment. Sometimes being ignored is not about your worth at all. It is about misalignment. Perhaps your values no longer match. Perhaps your direction has shifted. Perhaps life is calling you elsewhere. Reflection allows you to see this clearly. Instead of chasing someone who no longer fits into your journey, you ask, am I forcing myself into a place that no longer supports me? Am I ignoring my own growth by clinging to the familiar? Self-reflection transforms the sting of rejection into clarity. It shows you where you do not belong so that you may find where you truly do. In this way, rejection is not redirection. It is revelation. Through reflection, you also learn resilience. Each time you face rejection and look inward instead of outward, you strengthen your ability to endure. The first rejection may shake you deeply. The second may still hurt. But over time, as you reflect, as you learn, as you grow, rejection loses its power to crush you. It becomes like the weight a bodybuilder lifts, heavy at first, but over time, the very resistance that once felt unbearable becomes the source of your strength. Reflection turns wounds into wisdom, pain into patience, silence into inner stability. With every rejection, you become less dependent on others and more anchored in yourself. Rejection also creates space. Often, we fill our lives with people or situations that are not truly meant for us, simply because we fear emptiness. But when rejection comes, it clears that space. Painfully, yes, but necessarily. Reflection allows you to ask what new opportunity can grow in this space. What part of myself can I nurture now that I am not consumed by chasing someone's approval? Just as a garden must sometimes be weeded for flowers to bloom, rejection pulls away what does not belong. If you reflect, you will see that the emptiness rejection creates is not a void. It is fertile ground, ready for new growth. In reflection, you also discover compassion. When you are rejected, you learn how much it hurts. But instead of turning bitter, you can use that awareness to become more compassionate toward others. You begin to see that everyone fears rejection, everyone struggles with worth, everyone seeks belonging. Your pain makes you gentler, wiser, more understanding. Self-reflection transforms rejection into a bridge of empathy. It allows you to connect with others not through neediness, but through shared humanity. In this way, rejection does not isolate you. It deepens your connection to the human experience. What once felt like a punishment becomes a gift, shaping your heart into one of patience and kindness. So, when rejection arrives, do not resist it and do not collapse beneath it. Instead, reflect. Ask yourself, what lesson is hidden here? What illusion is being stripped away? What strength is waiting to emerge? Rejection, when transformed through self-reflection, becomes one of the greatest teachers. It pushes you inward, it forces you to grow, and it shows you that your worth is not dependent on acceptance. The world may ignore you, people may turn away, doors may close, but through reflection, you will find that you are never truly abandoned. You are always being guided back to yourself, back to your center, back to the unshakable truth that you are whole. In this way, rejection is not an ending. It is a beginning.